the marketing triangle, and your business. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. What is the marketing triangle and why is it so important? It really matters, and it's going to mean a whole lot more to you if you've been involved in business for a period of time. Basically, because it will show you why you failed at so many different things or why things aren't working properly. And it was funny because it was probably around 2013, 2012, late 2012, 2013 that it came to me, and I'm like, oh, I get it. One of the big pieces was reading this book, The Ultimate Marketing Plan by Dan Kennedy. Great book. He talks about the marketing triangle in here in great depth. I'm going to cover it in very light manner just to give you an idea of what it is and why it's so important. It really comes down to this. When you're in business, oftentimes when it comes to marketing, we focus on the media source first. That tends to be the first thing that goes through our mind. And the old saying was, it's the yellow page salesman that walks in through the door or calls you on the phone, and that's what leads you to getting into the yellow pages. It's not because you thought about it and you figured your market was that the people you're trying to get to use the yellow pages, all this stuff. We tend to be driven by the market. So someone gets really excited about Facebook ads or TikTok or anything like that. And then they say, okay, now what am I going to put on there? And then at the very end, they might get to the point where they say, okay, now what does my audience want? But that's usually the last thing people think of. And here's the magic of the marketing triangle. It should be the first thing we think of is our marketplace, our who. So we talked about yesterday about the who and why that is so important. Another word for who is market. We're wanting to focus on our market first. That should be the first thing that we think about is the who. Who are we trying to help, right? Who are we trying to help, and what are we wanting them to do? How are we helping them? So the what and the how is the message, because you start with the market. You say, okay, this is who we're trying to reach. Now, what are we trying to help them with? How are we going to help them? That's our message when it comes to marketing, because marketing is just the communication of what we want the market to do, what we want potential customers, clients, patients, whatever. What do we want them to do? Right? That's marketing. It's just the communication of it. And we'll get into that in a second. But so you got your message, your market, and then at the end, that will lead you to media. What type of media do I go to with that message for that market? See, if you do it that way, then you don't get excited about the media source, except for the fact that it's a good way to deliver a message to the market. But most of us, we do it all backwards, and then we don't end up getting good results. And this happens only almost every single time. And I know this from not only doing it myself, but from working with client after client after client. And this tends to be the only time they get excited about any type of marketing or advertising is when they get excited about the media source. It's not them getting excited about helping the end person. And this is a very human thing. It's just one of these things we fall into. But really, ideally, you are going to get the best bang for your buck by focusing on the who first, then the what and how, and then the where and when, the media. Where and when are we going to tell them what and how to do it, and who are we talking to? Okay, that's the idea behind the marketing triangle. It's more of the order in which you do things in, the importance in which you do them, and that really helps hone what each answer is. Everything, it's all about communication. Marketing, if you take marketing, you take the area that's just called advertising, and there's that old story. There's this old story by I think it was Albert Lasker that was talking about coming in contact with John Kennedy. This was back in the early 1900s, I believe, 1920s, probably 100 years or more ago. He had this situation where he was studying advertising and trying to figure out, okay, what is the soul, what is the essential point of advertising? And he ran to John Kennedy and he said, I've got it. He says, it's very, very simple. Advertising is salesmanship in print. If you think about it, back then, that was what advertising was. It's the only thing. You either had salesmanship, which was one-on-one communication, trying to get somebody to do something, or you had advertising, which was the print. And advertising back then was print. It's a sign, it's a newspaper, it's a magazine, and that's about it. I mean, it's things in print. It's a piece of mail, a letter that's been sent to you. But no matter what, it's what we would refer even to today as print. If you consider that around all marketing, because marketing has grown so much bigger than that nowadays. If you look at the entire lifestyle of marketing, it all comes back to salesmanship in whatever form you're trying to reach a person. That's what it is. It's salesmanship in a YouTube video. It's salesmanship in a all the different types of, in a phone call. All the different technologies we have. It's still the exact same game. It's a communication. The communication is to a certain audience to get them to do a certain thing via a certain source. And that's it. That's marketing in just the simplest terms possible. So if you wrap your mind around that principle and the direction that we go in making that relationship the main thing. It's one of the main things why I talk about with BrianJPombo.com, that we have three main pillars. We talk about being relationship reliant is one of the main ones. Okay, relationship reliant. Everything comes back to a relationship. Whether you know that person physically, you've actually come in contact with them or not, there's still a relationship. There's a communication back and forth. And if you realize that all business is based on that, you'll do really well if you keep that in mind with everything that you're doing, that you're talking to an actual person out there. That's what it's all about. That's just another one of the principles in this string of videos that we're doing on some of the main principles you need to either start a business or to take your business to the next level, really focusing down on these principles. Hopefully it's helpful for you. I'd love to hear what you think about the marketing triangle. Like I said, I did not come up with it, but there's a lot of people that talk about market, message, media, and the matching of those three. So you have a great night. Go check out my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. You can get a free copy at amazonproofbook.com. We'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.